Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, come one, come all. But if you come first, please make sure your partner does too, because that is just polite. Today we are going to go to one of my all-time favorite games. It's like top 3 for me. We got Diablo 2. This one is the recent remake that came out somewhere around September last year. I don't remember right off the top of my head. It is a fantastic game, and I seem to have a little bit of a debate about the amount of difference between a really high-end geared Bowazon and like still also pretty high-end gear, but slightly less. The biggest difference is mine does not require a jaw rune or 3 perfect, real expensive jewels in a helmet, or 4 of those same jewels in a piece of armor, with the piece of armor costing as much as one of the jewels, as well as the helmet costing as much as one of the jewels. So, while yes, Fortitude is still pretty expensive because a low rune is at least relatively rare. Lots of people do have lots of them. I personally found the low rune for this piece of armor horking out of a cow. I just about pooped myself. So it's not at all impossible if you actually play the game a decent amount. Like, yeah, I got a couple hundred hours on it at this point since it released, but I also have the gear to show for it. So almost everything on this character is self-found too. Like, I found all the runes to go in that, found several low runes, so I've got several fortitudes. I've got a halfway decent Andy's Visage. Amazon Torch. This is one of the pieces that I actually traded for. I found a Stone and Jordan and traded for an unidentified Annihilus. Just straight trade. So, this is what it popped. This is the only one that I have. Other than that, Ravenfrost, Razortail, a halfway decent Lifesteal ring, High Lords, Fortitude. This one rolled really good. Honestly, 30 resist is fantastic, and I don't really need all that extra life. This one will end up being, I think it was 124 out of 148 to life at max level. Gore Riders, which are interchangeable with War Travs, pretty much 1-to-1. It just depends on how you like to do your damage, whether you want it to be straight up or a little bit of a better chance for the double damage. Because, yeah, fun fact, although they do the same thing, Critical Strike and Deadly Strike are not the same ability, and some people don't seem to quite understand that they don't linearly stack. So just having like 29% Deadly Strike isn't going to be enough to make your 71% Critical Strike a 100% chance for double damage. That's not how it works. It ends up acting like 2 die rolls on a 100-sided die. So you've got to score above a 29 to actually get the crit chance on Crit Strike. And when you have Deadly Strike, you get a second chance at it. So, say you fail the first one, you've then got a 64% chance on the second roll for the double damage. Now, if you hit it on the first one, the second one doesn't do, you just don't roll, because you've already done the double damage. It's not like you're going to get quad damage. But, moving forward. So yeah, this is Players 1. This was to demonstrate that cow clearing is mostly the same when you compare the 2 builds. Yeah, I'm using the right stuff. Just gotta go find the leg. And I use a combination of multishot and strafe for cows. Works pretty well for lots of things, honestly. So this is going to be a slightly longer video than I wanted because I didn't pre-prep getting the leg, but you know, it's nice. Go through that. Now the only thing is sometimes some of the specials, like if it's an immune to physical special or something like that, Magic Arrow, it works, but it kind of sucks. Going to be getting a little bit better with patch 2.4 when that comes out, but that's not out yet. But, you know, you can clear this stuff at the same rate as you can with the Faith. for significantly less. Alright. Oh, maybe I do have a leg already and I didn't realize it. Maybe it's in my stash. Am I just dumb? Let's find out. Oh, of course I am. Nice. So let's do this. I'm in a private game, so I don't care. Though I genuinely don't like doing that. It makes me nervous every time. So this is players 1, cows. My gear. Cheap. Rares. They work. I already showed you that jazz. On my... Oh yeah. So for my actual helmet, I'm using a Gilliam's face. If I'm doing like chaos runs or something though, if I can figure out where the hell I put it real quick. That's what I use. Yeah, if I'm doing chaos runs, I'm actually using more of a resistances setup and still able to max out all of my resistances, have proper leech, have 1300 life, and still be able to clear Chaos Sanctuary with no difficulty. That's the bonus of this setup, is your higher base damage. Yes, Faith, you're attacking almost twice as fast, if not twice as fast. But you do much less damage per unit of ammunition. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, ammo expenditure doesn't really matter. I personally think it does. Or to me, it does anyway. I like to use less ammunition to kill things. Especially if I'm killing them at the same rate while using less ammunition. Because then that is even more of a you don't have to go to town, less downtime sort of thing. So, that being said, let's go kill some cows. Slappy Azrael doesn't have his aura yet, so let me let him get his thing. Come on, buddy. Get your aura. There we go. Alright, so now I'm doing 5850 on a multi-shot. The difference here, they kill about the same. So, take a little harmony bow, and the fact that you're putting out twice as many arrows means you're killing twice as many things, which equalizes, or in some cases actually improves your rate of kill. Now, that being said, cows is not really that difficult, and as soon as you start cranking up the player's difficulty, the advantage may go to the Faith. But if you're just doing solo cows, or soloing the game in general, you don't need to spend a gyro. Like, yeah, you still should have the Pride rune word. And, at that point, if you're running a Pride, running Fortitude and Andes. Like, these are good things to have. But it almost doesn't even matter what your bow is at this point. If I had Mana Leech on something, like if I was running Steel Skull instead of Gilliam's, and just doing straight damage instead of counting on, Crit Strike, Deadly Strike, Crushing Blow, shit like that, then this would still be effective. Like, let me grab a couple of these mana pots, because I'm going to end up just chewing through my mana doing it this way, because I don't have Mana Leech other than the Wind Force currently. So, let's see. Like, you're still dropping stuff. Like, once you get to this point, the part that makes the least amount of difference is your bow. And not having... I'm swapping back now, because I like that Mana Leech. That's another thing. This has Mana Leech. And Faith doesn't. Plus this... like... We got synergies coming. This having a higher base damage is going to help that too. Hey, nice, an Istrune. I'll take that, thank you very much. So yeah, it all just depends on what you want to do. Like if you can get yourself a wind force as like your first key piece of gear for a Bowazon, then that makes everything else that much easier. And frankly, I traded an Istrune for my wind force. It was unidentified. I didn't really much care what the mana leech was going to end up being because it's enough, especially for my type of gameplay. So this was a video that was longer than I wanted it to be in any case, but hopefully that just shows that you don't really need the faith. Yes, it's nice to have because you attack crazy fast and you know, it looks good to be chucking ammunition all over the place, but it doesn't do you any favors. Especially when you can do essentially the same thing for a lot less. Like, if you just hoard them up, because of how many arrows you're firing, you can only hit each cow with a single arrow per volley. But like, you can hit a lot more cows if you just herd them up than you can with the faith, because most people run at like 12 arrows because they need to put into other things. And yeah, a lot of that just comes down to build preference, but I think that people have forgotten just how good a wind force actually is and are way overhyping a faith as being a required piece of equipment, especially considering the price difference. It's like, this does just fine. But I had initially said that I thought that mine cleared faster, but I was dead ass tired, and simply put, I was wrong. I say, for players 1 cows, it's about the same. Yeah. Oh yeah. Derp. And this is only going to get better when 2.4 comes out, because we're going to have multi-shot synergies. And again, having the much higher base damage out of the two. Yes, I won't have fanaticism, but I don't need it. It doesn't add that much extra damage when you consider the low base damage of the weapon. Comparatively, I should say. Because, yeah, Faith Bow does what, like 300 damage? I'm doing 528 printed. So you multiply that through all of the skills, plus the synergies that are coming, and it's a much bigger difference than I think a lot of people are realizing or giving it credit for. So yeah, just a bunch of dead cows. Kind of going easy on this one because I don't have a lot of arrows, I don't think. Yeah. Oh, there we go. But yeah, you'll attack faster, but again, I've got twice as many arrows going out per volley. So if you're dealing with smaller crowds, you right click and strafe them down. If it's like 4 or 5 cows, just strafe them down. Junk. So yeah. Alright. Y'all have fun. Dissect my video, tell me how wrong I am.